Good morning. I wanted to create an updated video on how teachers can create and manage assignments for the Turnitin Schoology application. I'll be creating other videos on how to go through the grading process, but this process is just for creating an assignment through Schoology that will be checked by Turnitin. The first thing you want to do is navigate to your classes or to your courses and pick whatever class you want to create for. At this point, I want to go ahead and I want to go to External Tools, Add File, Link, or External Tool. At this point, I want to click External Tool, drop-down menu to Turnitin. I want to go ahead and name my assignment, call it Paper 2, U.S. History. And this paper, I do want to be able to grade it, so I'm going to click Enable Grading. I'm going to make it out of 100 points. Click the due date, which is going to be next week. Category is going to be all assignments. I'm going to keep everything else the same, the scale, and finally the period for when it's assigned. It's going to be, first quarter or whatever. Hit Submit. Now I'm able to go in and put more specific instructions for this assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click Settings. And this is where I can actually type in the specific instructions for the assignment. So I can say 2 pages in length. And whatever else to be graded on. So the next thing I want you to pay attention to is the start date. This is when students will be able to upload an assignment. They'll see the instructions, they'll see the assignment in Schoology, but they won't be able to upload until this date. And yes, we do use military time for this. Next is the due date, pretty self-explanatory, and the feedback date released. I will show you in another video how you can put feedback within the assignment. This is the date when students will be able to click on the paper, and be able to view your comments. So usually this can be kept at the same as the due date, but you can have it a later date because maybe you don't want students bothering you about assignments. Next, I'm going to click on other additional or optional settings. This is where we get into more specifics. Now, I would always keep allow student submissions any file because this will prevent students from uploading files that can't be graded by Turnitin. Allow late assignments, you can uncheck this box allowing students to be locked out of the assignment, or you can obviously allow. Grammar checking, I have this because there's a great grammar checking service throughout Turnitin, and I'll show it in a future video. The type of ETS that is used for that grammar checking and what will be checked within the grammar. Rubrics, you can actually make your own rubric if you want to, and that'll be covered in another video, but you can also select some of the other rubrics for it. Then, compare lists, you can allow students to see the report once the feedback date has been passed, the percentage. You can see current and archived website content, periodicals. Basically, this is what it's going to check against. And this is where you can exclude things from the reciprocity report that include, students can see it, exclude the biographies. You can really change the different sources that are checked against it. Again, play with these options, and finally, I'm going to save these for future, so whenever I create a future assignment, it will have these same exact settings. I'm going to hit Submit. Once you click Submit, the assignment is now created. All right. If you want to make changes to this, once you hit Submit for that first time, you'll be able to make changes to this, not from the Schoology interface, but from Turnitin, and that's where I'm going to go now. I'm going to go to Turnitin.com. I'm going to log in. This email should have been sent to you so you can create your login credentials. I'm going to make sure it says instructor up here. I'm going to go to my test course under my classes, and I'm going to scroll down to Paper U.S. History. Here, I will be able to see how many submissions and edit the settings. And then you can make the same changes here. But realize once you make a change here, you will be unable to make a change here. It locks you out of this. And then all future settings have to go through here. One last thing you need to realize is that if you make an assignment that has linked classes, for example, my U.S. history has more than one class, you will need to make these changes for each individual class. You'll see up here the different sections for a given class. You will need to make the changes for each individual class. Those changes are not, I repeat, are not made across all sections. So once you make the changes and you submit like I did before, like I showed you, you will need to then select the next class and make the same changes, because you'll see here under classes that these classes are not linked. They are individual classes. All right. If you have any other questions regarding the Schoology assignment, please let me know. And in future videos, I will cover student submission, grading, and feedback. Thank you very much.